Hey, I'm Harper minus 25 years old, a marketing exec in New York City. But let me take you back to where it all started in good old suburban America. Growing up, I was the classic firstborn, eager to please, full of dreams. Then Jake came along, my little brother. At first, I was excited to be a big sis. But man, did things change. Jake wasn't your typical toddler. His tantrums were legendary, full-on meltdowns over the smallest things. Sarah, can you keep it down? Jake's trying to sleep, Mom would say, even when I was quietly doing homework. But Mom, I have a big test tomorrow. Please, Sarah, you know how he gets when he's tired. It was always about Jake, his knees, his moods, his everything. Don't get me wrong, I loved him, but it felt like I was fading into the background of my own life. My saving grace. Grandma Thompson, she was a saint. Every birthday, she'd call without fail. "Happy birthday, my little star," she'd say, her voice warm over the phone. "Thanks, Grandma," I'd reply, grateful that someone remembered. "Oh, sweetie, your parents love you. They're just preoccupied." Preoccupied. That's one way to put it. Try telling that to 16-year-old me, sitting alone on my sweet 16 while my parents were out handling another one of Jake's cool incidents. "We'll celebrate this weekend, honey," Dad promised when they finally got home. Spoiler alert, we didn't. But it wasn't all bad. I threw myself into school, determined to be noticed. Fast forward to high school graduation. I'm valedictorian, standing at the podium, scanning the crowd for my family. Mom and Dad were there, but distracted as always, trying to keep Jake from causing a scene. "Congratulations, Sarah," Mom said afterward, but her eyes were on Jake, who was tugging at her sleeve. "Thanks, Mom. Did you hear my speech?" "Oh, of course, sweetie. It was nice. Nice. That's all I got." That summer was a blur of college prep and more Jake drama. By the time August rolled around, I was counting down the days until I could leave for college. The day finally came, car packed, goodbyes said. As I hugged Grandma, she slipped something into my hand, a small box. "Open it when you get there," she whispered. "And remember, you're destined for great things, Sarah." Driving away, watching my house disappear in the rearview mirror, I felt a mix of excitement and relief. College was my chance to start fresh, to finally be seen for who I was. Little did I know, that was just the beginning of my journey to find my voice. But that's a story for another day. For now, I was just a girl with a car full of dreams, heading toward a new chapter. Life in New York City? A whole different ball game. I hustled my way up to marketing executive, and for the first time, I felt like I was truly being seen. My phone buzzed. It was Michael, my boyfriend. "Hey babe, we still on for dinner tonight?" "You bet. Can't wait to tell you about this campaign I just landed." "That's my girl, always killing it." I smiled. Michael understood me in a way my family never did. Speaking of family, I've been dodging their calls lately. Out of sight, out of mind, right? Wrong. My phone lit up again. Mom's number. "Sarah, it's about Grandma." My heart sank. What happened? "She passed away last night. The funeral's this weekend." It felt like someone had punched me in the gut. Grandma was gone. The one person who always remembered me. "I'll be there," I managed to say. The trip back home felt like stepping into a time warp. Same old house, same old drama. "Sarah, you're here." Mom rushed to hug me. "Hey, Mom," I replied, hugging her back, feeling strangely out of place. Dad appeared, looking older than I remembered. "Good to see you, kiddo." Jake lurked in the background, barely acknowledging me. The funeral was a blur of tears and whispered condolences, but it was the reading of the will that truly shattered everything. "To my beloved granddaughter Sarah, the lawyer Raid, I leave my beach house and a sum of $500,000. You could have heard a pin drop. Then all hell broke loose. "What? That's not fair," Jake exploded. Mom looked shocked. "Surely there's been some mistake." "No mistake," the lawyer confirmed. "Mrs. Thompson was very clear about her wishes." I sat there stunned. Grandma had left me everything. Jake turned on me, furious. "You were always her favorite. I bet you manipulated her into this." "Excuse me?" I shot back. "I didn't even know about this." Dad tried to calm things down. "Now, kids, let's not fight. Sarah, you'll share with your brother, right?" I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "Share? Are you kidding me?" Mom chimed in. "Sarah, be reasonable. Jake needs this money more than you do. That was the last straw. Years of pent-up frustration came flooding out. Reasonable? When have any of you ever been reasonable with me? My whole life has been about Jake. My birthdays, my achievements, everything ignored because Jake needed attention. That's not true. Mom protested weakly. Isn't it? Where were you on my Sweet 16? Or when I gave my valedictorian speech? Always dealing with Jake's latest crisis. Jake sneered. Oh, poor Sarah, always the victim. I rounded on him. You don't get to talk. You've had everything handed to you on a silver platter. I worked my ass off, I snapped. Sarah, language. Mom gasped. No, Mom, I'm done sugarcoating things. Grandma left me this inheritance because she saw me. She was the only one who ever did. Dad tried to intervene. Now, Sarah, we love you both equally. Save it, Dad. Your actions have always spoken louder than words. And they've been crystal clear. I stood up, shaking with a mix of anger and adrenaline. I'm not sharing the inheritance. It's mine, fair and square. And frankly, it's the least I deserve after years of being treated like I didn't matter. The room erupted into chaos. Jake was yelling, Mom was crying, and Dad was trying to calm everyone down. But for once I didn't care. I walked out, head held high. As I drove back to the city, I felt a weight lift off my shoulders. For the first time in my life, I had stood up for myself against my family. It hurt, yeah, but it also felt dang good. I dialed Michael's number. Hey, you free to talk? You won't believe what just went down. Little did I know, this was just the beginning of the storm. But for now, I was breaking free, and it felt amazing. Back in New York, I threw myself into renovating Grandma's beach house. It became my sanctuary, a place where I felt her love surrounding me. But my family had other plans. My phone buzzed with yet another text from Mom. Sarah, honey, we miss you. Can't we talk about this? I ignored it, just like the dozen before. Then came one from Jake. Way to abandon your family, sis. Real classy. Frustrated, I tossed my phone aside. Couldn't they just let me be? Later that week, I met up with Lena, my best friend, and Michael for drinks. They won't stop messaging me, I vented. It's like they can't accept that I don't want to share the inheritance. Lena raised an eyebrow. Share? Girl, that's your money. Your grandma left it to you for a reason. Michael nodded in agreement. Sarah, have you ever considered that what they're doing might be emotional abuse? I scoffed. Abuse? That's a bit strong, isn't it? Is it? Lena challenged. They've been dismissing your feelings and needs for years. That's not normal, Sarah. Her words hit me hard. Could it really be abuse? I couldn't shake the thought. Maybe I should talk to someone about this, I admitted. And that's how I found myself in Dr. Patel's office the following week. Tell me about your childhood, Sarah, she prompted. As I talked, memories came flooding back. Like the time I won a science fair, but my parents missed it because Jake had a meltdown at school. They didn't even congratulate me later. The hurt felt fresh, as if it had just happened. Dr. Patel listened intently. Sarah, have you ever considered that Jake's behavior might not always have been uncontrollable? I frowned. What do you mean? Sometimes children learn that certain behaviors get them attention. It's possible Jake's tantrums were, at times, a form of manipulation. It was like a light bulb went off. All those times Jake's tantrums seemed to happen at the most inconvenient moments. Had he been playing us all along? Over the next few weeks, therapy helped me see my family dynamics in a new light. I felt stronger, more sure of myself. Then came the bombshell, a voicemail from Dad. Sarah, we need to talk. We're having some financial troubles. Jake's in a bit of a mess. We're coming to New York next week. We really need to sort this out. As a family. I sat there, phone in hand, as a mix of dread and determination washed over me. They were coming here, to my turf. This time, I'd be ready for them. The week before my family's arrival, I prepped with Dr. Patel and my friends, setting clear boundaries and strategies for dealing with potential manipulation. When they showed up at my apartment, the tension was palpable. Sarah, sweetie, you look well, Mom said, hugging me stiffly. Dad nodded awkwardly. Nice place you've got here. Jake just grunted, not meeting my eyes. I'd arranged for us to have dinner at a nearby restaurant, thinking a public setting might keep things civil. I was wrong. So Sarah, Dad began, about the inheritance. I cut him off. I'm not sharing it, Dad. That's not up for discussion. Mom's face fell. But Sarah, we're family. We should support each other. Support? Like you supported me all those years? I countered. Jake slammed his fist on the table. Oh, here we go again with the pity party. People at nearby tables turned to stare. I took a deep breath, remembering Dr. Patel's advice. Jake, that behavior might have worked when we were kids, but it won't work now. Mom looked shocked. Sarah, how can you be so cold? Your brother needs help. What kind of help? I asked, sensing there was more to the story. Dad sighed heavily. Jake's in some gambling debt. We were hoping you could help out. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. You want me to use Grandma's money to bail Jake out of his gambling addiction? It's not an addiction, Jake protested. I just hit a rough patch. No, I said firmly. I won't enable this behavior anymore. That's when Jake lost it. You selfish. If you don't share, we'll contest the will. We've already talked to a lawyer. The restaurant fell silent. In that moment, I saw my family for who they really were. Get out, I said quietly. All of you, we're done here. As they left, hurling insults and threats, I felt a strange sense of calm. It was over. I was free. In the weeks that followed, I threw myself into work and the beach house renovation. Michael, being a lawyer, helped me secure my inheritance legally, and Lena, along with my other friends, rallied around me. They showed me what real support looked like. On my next birthday, surrounded by my chosen family at the newly renovated beach house, I felt truly happy for the first time in years. Make a wish, Sarah. Lena called as I blew out my candles. I didn't wish for reconciliation with my toxic family. Instead, I wished for continued strength and growth in my new life. Later, I heard through the grapevine that Jake's debts had caught up with him, leading to legal troubles. My parents, stuck in their enabling ways, found themselves socially isolated and financially strained. The story of Sarah's journey to break free from her toxic family has come to an end. Now, I want to hear from you. Is it ever justified to cut ties with family members, even if they're blood relatives? Or should we always try to maintain family connections, no matter how difficult? Share your thoughts in the comments below.